Have you ever wondered why Gen Z seems to think, feel, and act so differently from every generation before them? Let's find out. They grew up with a phone in their hand almost before they could walk. The internet wasn't something they discovered, it was just always there. Unlike boomers or millennials, Gen Z was born into a fully connected digital world, and that changes everything about how the brain develops. From day one, they were surrounded by global information, instant news, and unlimited content. Their brains literally learned to process the world differently. For Gen Z, technology isn't a tool, it's an extension of who they are, how they connect, and how they understand themselves. Psychologists say that early digital exposure rewires certain brain patterns, affecting attention, emotion regulation, and even identity formation. This is why anxiety rates in Gen Z are among the highest ever recorded. Constant connectivity means the brain never fully gets to rest. When social media goes down or a post doesn't get likes, it can genuinely feel devastating because their social world lives online. Gen Z often feels caught between two selves, the curated, confident version they show online and the real, vulnerable person they are privately. This generation spends a lot of time asking, "Who am I really?" Identity exploration is central to Gen Z psychology like never before. Their attention is constantly pulled in multiple directions, not because they're lazy, but because their brains were trained on rapid, non-stop stimulation. At the same time, Gen Z is fiercely individualistic. They place enormous value on personal authenticity and refusing to be boxed in by labels. Burnout hits Gen Z hard and early. They feel immense pressure to succeed, go viral, build a brand, and still figure out who they are. But here's what's remarkable. Gen Z is also the most vocal generation about mental health, openly fighting the stigma their parents never could. Therapy, journaling, and emotional check-ins are normalized for Gen Z. Seeking help is seen as strength, not weakness. They're also deeply ethical consumers. Gen Z researches whether brands align with their values before spending a single dollar. Climate anxiety is real for this generation. They feel the weight of environmental responsibility in a way no previous generation has experienced. Social media gives them connection and community, but it also feeds comparison, FOMO, and a constant pressure to perform for an invisible audience. Yet Gen Z refuses to be passive. They speak up, call out injustice, and use their platforms to demand real change in the world. More than any generation before them, Gen Z is consciously choosing rest, boundaries, and mental peace, not as luxury, but as necessity. They're stepping into adulthood with eyes wide open, aware of the broken systems they've inherited, and determined to do things differently. Understanding Gen Z isn't about judging them, it's about recognizing that their environment shaped a genuinely different kind of mind. They walk forward with a roadmap that looks nothing like their parents, and that's not confusion, that's evolution. Empathy, creativity, social awareness, and radical honesty, these are the psychological gifts Gen Z is bringing to the world. Gen Z's psychology isn't broken, it's different, and different, understood with empathy, just might be exactly what the world needs right now.